Hello. You can officially join me in my pyjamas because I feel like this is the most accurate depiction of me as a PhD student that may ever exist. Oh, we already on week 3 of this PhD. That feels like it's gone by really quickly. Do I still have any idea what I'm doing? No. And I wonder if that's ever going to change. I wonder if I'm going to do this entire thing and look back on this and be like, I spent the last 4 years being like, I have no idea what I am doing. If that's the case, then at least let it be like a fun experience. So, because I haven't really done much of like anything with this, like, document my PhD thing, I thought I'd just give you like a rundown of what I have done. Week 1 was basically just like a day of like an induction where I got introduced to the School of Social Sciences team, or SOCSI as I will be calling it for the rest of this video, but I met the rest of my PhD cohort as well. I think there's about 10 of us in total, mixture of part-time and full-time, so that's quite nice. But just had like a general kind of like, this is what to expect from like the SOCSI teams, and met some of our student reps, had a couple of like introductory talks to like the student union and other things like that. And then week 2, I basically spent the vast majority of it trying to organise how I got to audit modules, which was a whole bunch of stress. We then got enrolled into 2 out of the 3 modules that we had inquired about. I still haven't heard back from the 3rd one, so I've just given up. But they are one about museums, which I'm really loving, and one about qualitative research methods, which has been less interesting thus far, but that is primarily because I'm kind of viewing the qualitative methods as more of like a recap of like what I've done at my master's, and lots of admin. And then very last minute, on I think either the Thursday or Friday last week, I got notified that I needed to be in on the Monday and the Tuesday for classes that I had audited, which, for those who don't know what an audited class is, it basically means you attend the class but you're not assessed on it, so kind of information gathering but like in a less stressful capacity. Yeah, so then like ran around, booked last minute hotels for things, went down to Cardiff at the start of this week for the 2nd time, and yeah, attended classes, which was lovely. I'm going to hopefully document a bit more of that process like this week. That's kind of my plan. I'm down in Cardiff for this entire week coming, from the 20th until the 24th. So my intention is to like document a little bit more of like where I am and what I'm doing, and kind of like the process a bit more, so I've got some more stuff to look back on. But yeah, had a whole bunch of like very busy, very hectic meetings last week. I documented some of that. Oh, I started on my research plan. So yeah, that's just like the recap of the last 2 weeks, or I guess 3 weeks technically, but it really only feels like 2. Yeah, I've got a couple of bits that I maybe want to do tomorrow. I've got a very long train ride on Monday, so I will definitely be taking you along for that. Hello. Welcome to my office. I have no idea what I am doing. Like, at all. I'm trying to do a research plan, but like, I don't know what that looks like. I've never done one before. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what language I need to be using. I don't know like how to write research questions. I don't really know like how to put what I want to be doing into like an academic research aim. I'm like, I don't know. So that's been fun. I've also been up since like, I kid you not, literally like 5 a.m. this morning. My brain woke me up and was like, we're going to uni. I'm not letting you have any more sleep. And I was like, cheers, thanks. Like my supervisors keep being like, the language that you're using doesn't align with the underlying philosophies of your work. And I'm like, I don't know what the underlying philosophies of my work are. I really struggle with things that are like hypothetical. Like my brain does not do theories. It can do them, it just takes me ages to like understand what they mean. I'm very much like a practical person. I like thinking about like, this is how I'm going to do the thing. I'm not, this is the theory that's backing the thing that I know that I need to do. So I'm struggling a little bit with trying to sort of wrap my head around like how I describe that to someone else. But my office is cute, so that's a positive. Yeah, I've got a supervision meeting later, and I feel like I'm trying to prep for it without really knowing what I'm prepping for. Hello. We're doing an office catch-up again, apparently. I've just had a supervision meeting. Can I just like publicly make it known that my supervisors are like the sweetest people on earth, and I'm eternally grateful that they exist? Yeah, that's essentially all I came on to say, but they're very lovely, and having just like chatted with them about my project, I'm realising that maybe I know more about what I want to be doing than I initially thought. I think I need to kind of refine. When I like submitted my proposal, which I might do a separate video about, I did it quite broad in terms of like looking at a lot of different things. My PhD is going to be looking at the lived experiences of people accessing dementia services. And so I'm partnered with the National Museum for Wales, who have five different, they might have more than five. They have a lot of different like museum locations across Wales who do a bunch of dementia-friendly activities. So that can be like tours or talks or like support groups or object handling, that kind of stuff. And I'm really interested in people living with dementia's kind of perspective on that, what they're enjoying, what they're not enjoying, how we can improve services. But I had initially kind of put in that I was also then going to be meeting with working professionals as well, like within social care. So kind of looking at like the gaps in social care provisions and the gaps in like post-diagnostic support pathways, and kind of speaking to like social care professionals about their experiences with that. I have subsequently realised that that's not what I'm massively interested in. I think I've realised after kind of like speaking through that with like my supervisors that like the experiences of people living with dementia are at the heart of my project, and that's what I'm most interested in. Hello, you joined me in my hotel room while I'm crocheting. I'm making a cloak for this dude who is called Dave Medeiros. He's based on real life Dave Hearn from Mischief Theatre, and he's a self-insert character. I'm into one of my favourite podcasts called Hello High Rollers. If you haven't listened to it, go listen. Highly recommend. I need to obviously like style his hair, but like this is what he looks like. And he has like a black cloak with a hood. So you join me as I'm crocheting that, as I am gonna like process and decompress today, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm very proud of myself today and I want to document it. So I have had to do a lot of firsts this week. So I think I probably mentioned yesterday when I last did this like video diary thing that I was working on a research plan. It's going well. Like we got it all sorted. But my sort of big task for today was I had agreed to go to, I'm part of the care team at Cardiff, and every Tuesday they have like a casual like coffee morning, which my supervisor invited me to because he's part of the team, and he thought it'd be really useful if I could like integrate myself in and like go and introduce myself to everyone, kind of like see some familiar faces. It's in a different building than I'm based in, so like I got a tour of the building as well. But because I'm autistic, I really struggle with like doing new things for the first time, and for me, entering new buildings when like I don't know where anything is, when I'm going to like do something that's quite stressful, like I really struggled to enter new buildings for the first time. I really struggled with the Glamorgan building, which is where my offices are based. Like I literally had to like follow a group of students in for the like induction that we had, like in the first week, which I sadly didn't document. And I kind of had to stand outside I think it's the Spark building, that the care team are based in here in Cardiff. I had to stand outside and give myself a bit of a pep talk to go in, because I was like, it felt quite intimidating as someone who like has never been into that building before, basically doesn't really know anyone in it. So yeah, like I went and I did that, and I was so nervous. I got in and like spoke to the receptionist and I was like, hey, I'm here for like the care team coffee morning. And he was like, the what? I was like, my supervisor, insert supervisor's name, like, as part of the care team, like they're in this building, he wanted me to come and be like introduced to the team. And he was like, the receptionist was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, hun. So I literally had to email my supervisor and be like, the receptionist doesn't know where you are or what you're doing, can you come and rescue me? So like that wasn't the greatest start. It would have been very easy to kind of stand outside that building and be like, no, I don't fit in here, and let my imposter syndrome get the better of me. But like, I very much had kind of like a stern talking to myself and was like, no, there are going to be lots of times in this PhD that you're going to be asked to do things that you're nervous or anxious about. Like, don't let that little voice in your head that is screaming at you that you don't belong and that you have no idea what you're doing, like tell you what you can and can't do. Like, don't let it control you. But yeah, it's just like it's weird kind of having like an empty office and kind of feeling like there's not really much like a sense of community and stuff, and I really want to change that. But yeah, it's been a good day. I'm very proud of myself, and that was kind of all I wanted to come on here and say. Hello, welcome to my office. I know, cute. It's empty again. This is essentially a big long room, lots of desks, cute little shelf unit, and then that's the entrance to it. That's my coat. Walking in this morning, it was really cold, like I could see my breath, so it feels like winter's arriving. And if you can hear the kettle boiling in the background, that's because my kettle is functioning. So today I've got a couple of meetings, and I'm mostly going to be working on a research plan and a development needs analysis for some training that I need to do in preparation for some induction stuff that I've got on Friday. So wish me luck. Hello, you are joining me as I'm trying to work out what I can and can't do within a legal capacity for my project. So I'm hoping to be able to involve people with more advanced stages of dementia in my research project. I'm currently on my laptop behind me looking at the Mental Capacity Act that came about in the UK in 2005. I've already found out that, I already knew before all of this, that people living with dementia will, as their dementia advances, lack the capacity to consent because they cannot make a decision for themselves because of an impairment or disturbance to their brain's function. So they will, like, some people with dementia in like early stages will have the capacity to consent for themselves. However, because I kind of want to involve people across the spectrum of dementia within my project, I am going to be working with people who lack the capacity to consent. As such, in terms of a research perspective, I have found a section on the Mental Capacity Act that says that you can legally involve people who lack the capacity to consent in a project. What it says is that the appropriate body may not approve a research project for the purposes of like using people with, in my case, living with dementia, until they are satisfied that the following requirements will be met in relation to the project carried out as part of the project on or in relation to a person who lacks the capacity to consent taking part in the project. So from my understanding of that, basically I need to be able to prove why I want to have people who lack the capacity to consent involved in my research project. The research, if you're working with people in a research setting who lack the capacity to consent, the research must be connected with the impairing condition affecting the person or the treatment. I hit both of those criteria because I will be looking to understand their experiences, accessing support within community settings, and also looking to co-create a new form of cognitive stimulation therapy with participants across the spectrum of having dementia. It also states legally there must be reasonable grounds for believing that research of comparable effectiveness cannot be carried out if the project has to be confined to or relate only to people who have the capacity to consent taking part in it. That is really true for me, because a lot of the research that has been done on support for people living with dementia thus far has been very focused on immediate post-diagnostic support and not looking at the support for people who have more advanced stages of dementia. And part of what I really want to be doing is understanding the experiences for people living with dementia accessing support throughout the time that they live with dementia. I want to know, what support have they found? Did they find it easy to get support? If they didn't, what barriers did they face? Do they enjoy things more than others? And also it's important to kind of note that cognitive stimulation therapy, basically once you kind of hit a certain threshold of like having a different severity of dementia, like all the support that you can access basically just disappears. So I really want to be like making sure that that support continues in maybe like a more creative fashion. So basically all of this was to say that I'm pretty sure that within like the legal grounds I am able to legally involve people living with dementia who lack the capacity to consent. It's just then how we do that from an ethical standpoint, and making sure that the research has the potential to benefit the person without imposing a burden on them that is disproportionate to the potential benefits to them, or it also says that the research has to intend to provide knowledge of the causes of treatment or the care of persons affected by the same or similar conditions. So basically, yes, I can do this. Hello guys, I just checked into my hotel. I'll give you a tour properly, but like I've been staying in a travel lodge for like this week while I've been doing uni stuff, and I got this room as part of like I've got some like funding specific training that I need to do tomorrow, and I've just rocked up. I've just had like the nicest shower. This place feels so bougie. Like it's got like mood lighting. It's got a massive ass bed. Like the bathroom is so nice. As someone who's come from a travel lodge, like this is like utterly insane. Like the bedroom is the size of my entire like travel lodge space. So yeah, I've just come from doing the Welsh Graduate School of Social Sciences like social event, which I left early because it was literally just like sitting in a room and doing like a quiz with a bunch of other people, but like in a room that wasn't really like super like nice to spend a lot of time in, like lots of bright lights. I left early and I'm really proud of myself for doing that because like I don't often do that. Oh, I was making a tea, sorry. Yeah, like I've just walked up to this place and like checked in and it's so fancy. I immediately was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm living a life of luxury as someone who's been in a travel lodge all week. Like it's insane. I love it so much. I've got to go back to travel lodges after this because like Monday next week I'm back to travel lodges again and it's going to be such a sucky experience. Travel lodges are really not luxurious. I mean, you get what you pay for, but like too early to be awake. It's like 7:45. So, with a cup of tea, writing my life choices. I've got a long day ahead of me. I'll see what like info I can get for you guys, but I'm suspecting you might not see me until the train home. Yeah, every so often. It's better for me when I'm writing things than trying to read. I use, what do I use? It's like piano covers of songs that I know. So like there's no lyrics to it, but like it's a tune that I'm aware of, because like if I'm listening to music I don't know, my brain will spend more time listening to the music than like actually concentrating on what it's doing. So yeah. I don't know if there's a set one for us. I think it depends on my supervisors. As far as I'm aware, I think it's Harvard. I don't need complicated. I feel like PhD is going to be complicated enough. So Stick to what I know.
Hello, I'm off to visit Pontypridd today. Of course it's raining. Why? I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but it is raining. So it's definitely raining. Oh well.
Hello, you join me in my office again. It's been pretty lonely in here. Just updating my teammates on various modules that we found. But we went up to Pontypridd today. Chef's kiss. I've also completed my second draft of my research proposal, or research plan, depending on who you want to ask. So that's good. That's been sent off to my supervisors. I'm now starting to look at ethics. I think I'm going to do like an entire breakdown of my ethics in like a different video because like it's going to be quite complicated. But I'm like enjoying that process. I'm now looking at modules to audit next term. I found one about qualitative interview methods, which I've been sent to like my fellow cohort and been like, is this of any use to anyone? I'm waiting to hear back about like which tutor to email about it, but that's going well. And hopefully, I'm off very briefly. I don't intend on staying for the entire time. There's a ethnographic research methods group that meets today in like 12 minutes time in my building, because like I know where it is. Yeah, so it's going well. I'm keeping kind of up to date with stuff. I'm going to try and like knock out the ethics within the next like couple of weeks so that we can submit that this term and then start on like my literature review and maybe like an ethics discussion or something, because I've got to do 8,000 to 10,000 words by my cohort is saying May, but I don't know if that's 9 months from now. Just having a cup of tea, and then I'm going to go do this networky thing and push myself out of my comfort zone. I promised myself that I would document the good, the bad, the ugly and everything in between. I'm feeling stupid at the moment by no fault of my supervisors, just me. But I think my brain wants to fall back onto some of its previously known trauma responses. I've not really had the best experience being within academia. So I'm still sort of feeling like I'm recovering from that a little bit. But it means that when I'm kind of in a position where I feel like there's a power imbalance, no matter how small, it becomes really triggering for me because I'm worried. I slip back into that position where I feel like I have no way of defending myself, like I did in Huddersfield. And again, like I say all of this, it was like, this is not my supervisor's fault. I don't even really think this is my fault. I just thought I'd understood something and I hadn't, and I sent it over to my supervisors and was like, look, I've done this, and like, you know, my research plan is still up to date and like, it's fine. Basically, I think I triggered myself and I'm now having to sit with that on top of the additional frustration of essentially giving myself a timeout because there was this networking thing that I was going to go do and is on right now in the basement of this building that I'm in. But as you can see, I'm not really in a position where I can kind of like go and say hi to people that I don't know. But my brain's just in a little bit of an overdrive at the moment. I'm trying to like, I can feel it actively trying to like plan a way out of this, and it wants to like apologise, and I'm like, I haven't done anything wrong. I find it so frustrating because like this is not something that's in my control. I get like this is a result of what other people have done to me. And like I said, I'm documenting the good, the bad, the ugly, even if that involves me putting a clip of myself crying online, because I think it's too easy sometimes to gloss over things online and be like, my life is perfect, like, you know, come with me as a PGR student, and like not show the struggles and not show the fact that it's hard, especially when you know you have a complicated background and a complicated relationship with being in academia like I do. There's a lot of triggers, there's a lot of landmines for me to have to overstep, like for me to have to step over and navigate around. It's annoying and frustrating, and sometimes I wish that I could change the past, but I know that I can't. But it doesn't make moments like this where I know that I've like inadvertently put myself in a situation where I'm like, ugh, and feeling unhappy about things. And it's not even like my supervisors had turned around and been like, oh my god, you're an idiot. They literally were like, oh, I think you maybe like misunderstood this, like it's going to be more complicated than you thought. Yeah, it just makes me worried that like I'm not communicating effectively, because that's what started the landslide that ended my career in Huddersfield. That I will hasten to add was a little bit my fault, but mostly was an issue with the wider people that were around me not listening to me and not being flexible and doing some pretty iffy things. But to make myself feel better, I've done some art. So this is what I did last Friday when I was feeling overwhelmed in an induction event that I was doing. I did like little mushrooms. I listened to D&D podcasts, so I like to think that these are what some different types of mushrooms would look like if they were campestries, which is a form of D&D character that are like basically little mushroom people that live in a forest. And I did these as well, just as like a little drawing thing. But that was like a while ago. These ones are more recent. I'm feeling better having vented, but also like still frustrated because I was not expecting this PhD to be like an easy journey. I was expecting a lot of up and downs, mostly because like I've experienced it working within academia before. Like I know it's not all just going to be smooth sailing, but I think naively I kind of assumed that the first couple of months would be easier than like the more complicated stuff, because like I've done ethics applications before, I've like got stuff like this approved before. There's a part of me that sort of feels like I should like preface some things with my supervisors, but equally I'm like, I did this with Dimmy, who was my last academic supervisor, and it massively backfired on me, to a point where I think actually opening up to my supervisors at this point in time, having only known them for like a month, well, I've known them since like last year when I got them approved as my supervisors, but like we've only formally started working together like this month. I don't think it's sensible to repeat patterns that I've tried in the past that haven't worked. Yeah, my information should be on a need-to-know basis, and if they don't need to know, then they're not going to get told. Says she who was putting all of this on the internet, so like they literally could Google my name and find this out. Because I know in my heart of hearts, like I'm a good researcher, I'm good at what I do, I know that what I'm doing is worthwhile, I know that it's needed. I think I'm just nervous that me failing in whatever capacity that looks like, me not understanding something, me needing to ask questions, is going to have a repeat of what happened in Huddersfield, where me asking questions resulted in me getting made redundant. I've done some other things, like I've done like some admin today, so like I haven't done nothing. And I went to Pond Breathe, I think I mentioned this morning, which was really lovely.